The score is probably a little bit closer than what the actual game itself was. The Ravens beat the Cowboys 28-25. Many of their previous issues came to fruition. They did make a comeback effort. Down big against the Ravens. They had a 1% chance of winning. They clawed their way back per next-gen stats to 24%. The defense could not get one more stop, though. And they come up short, 28-25. So one-word reaction. I think there's a lot of different routes you can go here. One word only to how the Cowboys played against the Ravens. Let me know in the comments the hiccup of today's show. Extra hiccup there was just hilariously on brand somehow. Number one, you had some false hope late. Now, it was some hope. You rallied hard, but you were at 1%, 5%, 17%, up to 24% on that final drive. You got him in third down, and Lamar finds an open man for a first down pickup. And you just made your rally too little too late. The Ravens, again, have had this issue. They go very conservative, lame offense and kind of like try to blow games. They didn't air it out. They ran the ball pretty effectively. They actually had a yard per carry less for the overall average in the fourth quarter. Your issues still remain on defense, but you had some hope late, and maybe, just maybe, and if you don't agree, I get it, because that was not a fun 3 quarters of football game today when you were down 28-6. Maybe you have just enough hope. I do think, by the way, and we can have the Dak conversation now for a minute or so. Again, not perfect. Kind of got going late. Too little too late, by the way. I think there were bigger issues on your offense. CeeDee Lamb can't be dropping passes and throwing a hissy fit on the sidelines. I can't have it. He's still great. I can't have it. Both things are true. I think it is very telling that your offense finally got going for the first time in 3 games when they said, let's push it downfield. They didn't really do that in the first 2 games. Not even in garbage time against things. They didn't at least have the ability to. Your offense is at its best pushing the ball downfield. Look, you gave Zeke Elliott 5 touches/targets today. He had 4 catches or runs for 12 yards. I would not be surprised if you saw Dalvin Cook next week. You put Lipke out there a lot in third downs. All I'm going to say. Positive note, I thought Jake Ferguson was great today. You should have gotten the ball more early. Because what did I tell you pregame, Chris? Slots and tight ends, the Ravens have had issues with. You did it in the fourth quarter. Go figure. So, honest answers here. Do you feel better or worse about the Cowboys right now? I feel better than I did in the third quarter. I probably still feel worse overall. So answer it for me. B for better, W for worse if the ad comes here on YouTube. I was semi-positive for the first 3.5, but like somewhat, a little bit. Now I'm not going to be positive. Your coaching staff is bad. We have had this conversation consistently. Every time you play a big game, your team comes out soft. Your team comes out flat. Your team looked like they were completely unprepared for the read option. How? I think every single person watching this video went, hey, you know what? The Ravens are probably going to run some read option stuff. Get to the outside with Lamar and Derrick Henry and stuff. How are you not ready to stop that? You didn't do it until the fourth quarter. How? Lamar Jackson ran all over you. 14 carries, 87 yards, and a score. Derrick Henry ran all over you. 25 carries, 151 yards, and a score. The Ravens had 3 different players have at least 5 carries for over 6 yards per touch. I can't win games like that. It requires an onside kick, a defensive stop, 2 late game scores by offense to have a chance I can't win games doing that. This Cowboys team, I can maybe win 8, 9, 10 games. I can't do jack shit in the games that we care about in January and somehow, some way, February. I can't win games doing that. It's not sustainable. And they kind of took their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, and it showed. It showed. Your coaching staff, again, I don't like your scheme on offense, and your defense, again, seem unprepared. That can't keep happening. And if it does, when it's everything, all different angles of your team, that is a coaching issue for me. When you should be a little bit better. Even though your ownership, Jerry, gets plenty of blame, maybe even the majority of the blame as well. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Over 5 million active members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, it is you against the numbers. You pick more, pick less, 2 to 6 player stat projections. Watch those winnings roll in. In the month of September, so limited time left here, 1 Caleb Williams passing yard gets you the freebie win. You can do the flex play, which Derrick Henry was easy. He hit the more than. CeeDee Lamb got to stop pouting. I am not happy with Lamb right now. Got to be better. When your passing game, I'll say that for the actual conversation there. But again, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play 5. That's code CLNS over at prizepicks.com/CLNS for for $50 instantly when you play 5. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. We kind of did a lot on number 3. But, Mike makes a big deal like, the pickle juice game. You got fucking gashed again. YouTube gets mad when I swear. You got gashed. I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head. But I don't think there has been a football team that has won since the modern era that has allowed 274 yards on the ground and won the game. With a kneel down included, by the way. Multiple kneel downs. I don't think that has ever happened. That you allow 275 yards, basically, and win the game still. Now, maybe it has. And I'm an idiot if so. But I don't think that has happened. That's a coaching issue. And also, front office issue. You don't have the horses. We spent how many man hours, how much time on this show with your friends on Twitter, on YouTube comments, out there on social media in the world going, wow, your defense tackles are not very good, and also your run game is bad, and your running backs aren't very good. We've seen it again. Your run game is bad. And I also, by the way, shout out live here, Tony Thompson Super Chat saying the offense is static with no movement. Yes, because your running game doesn't have any motion either. And your passing game design. So I agree with Tony, by the way, just on the off-the-cuff live here. Rico Daddle, 8 carries, 32 yards. You have run the ball, let me check here, 16 times today. You ran the ball how many times against the Saints and the Browns? You've run the ball. You ran it 21 times against the Saints, and you ended up running it 25 times against the Browns. Your running backs combined, and let's just round down and say it's 55 carries or 50 carries for easy math, which is lower than what it actually is. You have one explosive run. That's a carry of 10 or plus more yards. You have a 2% explosive play rate. That fucking sucks. Your ground game is bad. And this is exactly, not just me, so many of you were worried about. Hey, you ignored the running back room. Hey, your scheme is bad. Hey, you're banking on 2 first-year players on the offensive line. You are paying the price across the board for bad off-season management. You didn't invest in your defensive line. You ignored your ground game. You signed 1 player of note outside your team in the offseason before you got past the draft. Your big signing was Eric Hendrickson, Royce Freeman, who's on the Browns practice squad. This is what you get. This is the results against the run and on the ground. If you're going to see constant, too high coverage consistently, you know what a great way to do that, get big plays against is? Run the damn ball. You can't run the football. You can't do it. I legitimately think if and when you call up Dalvin, which I'm not opposed to because I got to try something else there, does inside zone, it's not going to work. I legitimately think you're inactive. I think it has to be Ezekiel Elliott. No. 3 carries, 6 yards. 1 first down. Ran a bad route, led to an incompletion. They put Lipke in there to pass protect. They were testing him. They wanted to see, hey, can Lipke do the pass protection stuff? They gave him a shot. I think that's where we're at. Now, we'll have more updates for you all season long here as you hit the road against the Giants. Maybe a must-win game, maybe not. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV. I am worried about your offensive line. You can put other stuff in here. You know, the first 2.5 quarters from Dak, which is a different, longer conversation I'll save for Monday's show because I think some of you guys are being just stupid. Lamb did not play well. He had a fumble and like 2 drops. Come on, buddy. You got to make plays. I know he's frustrated. You got to make plays. Your offensive line consistently allowed pressure. How many times in the first 3 quarters was it Dak drops back, immediately hit? Guyton has not played well. Steele has not played well. Zach Martin looks mortal. Cooper Beebe can't pick up a stunt. There was a holding call on Terrence Steele. Like, this team needs a good offensive line. That is how they are built. When they've invested first-round pick, third-round pick, first-round pick, big contract. I've invested too much to not have a top 10 offensive line. You don't have one. Shows up in the passing game and in the ground game. All very real red flags. So grade the Cowboys for me against the Ravens. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. So this was our keys to victory before we got really deep into our dive. I think it turned out pretty accurate, right? Did you contain Lamar Jackson? No. 12 of 15 for 182 through the air and 87 yards on the ground. Did you limit Derrick Henry? No. 6 yards per carry for 151 total. Did you let Dak deal? Fourth quarter, yes. 379 through the air. It was the only reason you had a chance to win that football game. As slim as it was the only reason. Stop being haters. Get some easy buttons. No. We mentioned it in the live show. How many times was it a wide open man for the Ravens against the Cowboys? And how many times did Dallas have somebody wide open? The Tolbert touchdown. That was it. Everything else was, wow, tight window throw. Wow, good throw. Wow, etc. There are no easy buttons in this offense, and that is a Mike McCarthy issue. Did you stop the slow start? Fuck no. You fell behind 28-6. And the Ravens kind of took their foot off the gas too. You didn't do your jobs. And the score is not reflective of how bad you got beat up for the first 3 quarters.